Well, I'm going to go back and I'm going to tell the story. Here's my brother's Jerry's face, by the way. And good morning. My name's John Wright. This is the story about D.B. Cooper and the family and its Zodiac connection. And it's all the way back to the JFK incident. And there's many people involved. George was not an active player alone in all of this. And I know that for a fact. So saying that alone. Here we are in Port Angeles, Washington, and all things are happening. My sister Bonnie, and I'll go back and I'll tell this story again. Right there, uh, we got those BB guns and stuff when Dad came back to California. But prior to Dad going to California, Dad had built a playroom onto that house because I think he built me a playroom for the kids to be in that house because I was being held there. I mean, my dad made my mom pay for that playroom out of that money that she got out of a car wreck. She got hit in the back end of a car. Danny Johnson got some money from this. Marietta got some money from that. And Danny Johnson and Marietta got together. And, well, Marietta loaned the money for the washers and dryers in the laundromat in the Mossy Rock Bowling Alley. At the Mossy Rock Bowling Alley. $5,000 she gave Marty. Oh boy. I'll tell you what, this story will come on later. But first, those BB guns has been there, and all of a sudden, my dad's came back from California, and everything's happened there. My dad gets those BB guns. We have a BB gun fight between all of us, it seems like. Bonnie and Randy and them are out this way. Me and Danny Johnson's on a platform, and this here is just between Marty's store and the PUD. And you know what? We're having a BB gun fight down there, shooting at people. I look down there and I look right at my sister Bonnie, and she shoots and she shoots, and I watch that BB just go and slam me right in the eye, and I've got a little indent right there that I would be more than willing to show my sister anytime because it's just faded and it's there. I had to pick that BB out of my forehead. I remember looking at that BB in the mirror and pulling it out of my forehead. It was indented into it, you know. But I didn't tell my sister that at the time. I mean, I think I'm still holding that from my sister. I've mentioned she shot me between the eyes when I was a kid. People have heard me mention this before. But, I'm just saying that it did happen. These things did happen. And I never seen Bonnie's BB gun when she came to Mossy Rock with Marietta in September prior to school starting right there, you know. But now we have a gun incidents in the bowling alley in Mossy Rock where my brother Jim pulls out a 30-30 and he touches it off inside the bowling alley and he knocks the bowling pin down, tells me, "Get down there and get it." I mean, and I've told the story. And when I say I want to come and tell you guys a story about how my brothers, what they do. Oh, by the way, at that PED where the place was with me and Danny Johnson's fighting and stuff, Danny Johnson, they've been kicked off a bus coming back from Kentucky for throwing out cherry bombs. We're gonna blow up stuff. They're blowing up stuff. They're at the highway market, by the way. Danny Johnson and them, they say they're gonna make a bomb and they're gonna blow up the PUD. Jesus Christ, I was fucking scared. I actually pulled something over on top of myself and hurt myself, shielding myself from this giant blast that was supposed to be coming. It never did happen, but I did get hurt. And I was just a kid, I'm only 7 or so. This one time, my sister is behind. Okay, well, now you guys know I got poisoned in that house in my sister's bedroom with my sister and Patty Shulver. Patty Shulver shoved her into it. They're, they're living by signs, and it's QAnon or on Q. I was thinking about that just this morning. This QAnon, this language that they're living within. They're all living within this language around me, it appears. And matter of fact, when I've been talking to Ernie, I was talking to him before I ever knew about this QAnon. and I only did recently. Because if I would have known about it earlier, I would have been talking about it earlier. So, but anyway, I think I probably mentioned about this language that they seem to know that they're living by. And you know, when I'm telling Ernie this, I'm reading Ernie, and it's like, zip. You know, I mean, and I even told him, I said, you guys, it appears that you guys are living by a language, but you won't talk to me about it. You won't tell the truth. You know, and I come to a point where it comes down to it's a sword secrecy uh, with a bunch of children a generation above mine. I mean, Jim's aware of it. Jerry's goddamn aware of it. Bonnie's aware of it. Ernie seems to be, you know, he deals with it. And I think he does deal with it. You know, he loves his wife. You know, he's made an oath to love, honor, cherish. Man, I'm telling you, just like I'd made an oath to not to break into safes and do things that's corrupt. You know, I'm guilty of stealing a candy bar in the bowling alley and stealing a kiss from a married woman's lips. I've slept with some friend's wife, and I've crossed the goddamn line like my dear friend Pat Urian, that people make a fool out of. Pat Urian, oh boy. Now you guys, he has a wife that's a red-headed slut. She's a car hop, as Kim Plurt would say. I knew her when she was a car hop, and then she married Pat. She'd go to the car hop. She'd go to the drive-in movie and she'd hop from car to car fucking nailing men. Not for money, because she liked to be fucked. So now a lot of things happen. When you're D.B. Cooper, son, you get to meet a lot of people. Oh boy, I could tell you stories upon stories upon stories upon stories. And I think movie producers should line up for this, because I tell you what, I like to talk, and I like to talk comfortable too. So I don't like people fucking leaning on me like, man, you can't say nothing. You murder somebody in front of me and don't fucking badger me, bitch. You know, my family members. And they fucking know that I'm the 900-pound gorilla in the room, and I guess it's so, because from what I've done, nailing Donald Trump with this and fucking throwing it into the middle of the sea like I like to throw a goddamn brick into the pond, I faxed it all over the United States of America, and I sit here and I love it this morning. And I love you guys. I love Americans. And I love people from other nations. But Jesus Christ, go home after you're done visiting America. You know? And those Lebanese, they love Morton Washington so goddamn much. If they want to come to America, let's shove them all right there, because then I'll know where they're at. We can keep an eye on them. And we can retrain these people to go home and rebuild their little nation over there on the Gaza Strip. That's a big little area for these people to go back to. They're making a vacuum. All these people's houses and stuff are rubble. New people are going to move back in there. Maybe Israel might move back in there. A few Palestinians don't want to go home. But because the Palestinians had people living in their area, man, few bad apples can spoil the whole goddamn box, like here in America. Like the Republican red apple. Oh, they're so goddamn good. Bright and shiny little red rotten apples. Red tomatoes. My brother Jerry, you stick a tomato in front of him and say, eat it, he'll go goddamn nuts. Why is he nuts on tomatoes? They hate tomatoes. Jerry, right, fucking goddamn. But he'll drink goddamn ketchup. He'll ketchup down everything almost. But I'll tell you what, fuck it, I've been in the car and somebody's gave him tomatoes. And my brother Jerry goes in there, and I don't know if it's a freak out trip to fucking, you know, to cause crap or what's going on with them. But I've witnessed him go fucking weirdo over tomato sliced off the guy's burgers. So, and this here happened, it has something to do with Grandma's house and him eating a bunch of tomatoes, and he took a crop, Jeannie's riding crop. My Aunt Jeannie's a horsewoman. He took her riding crop and was and was threatening to beat my Aunt Jeannie with it. My Aunt Jeannie might have went out there and said, "Hey, you little son of a bitch," with that thing, and told him to fucking straighten up. But they've had a grudge against my Aunt Jeannie, like this. They all like to attack her, but I'm her friend, and she's nice. And by the way, my grandma left her all the money and stuff because my grandma tried to give it to me if I would take care of my Aunt Jeannie. She would give me everything. I said, "No, you give the farm to the girls." I told my mother, "I won't go after your property. You won't go after mine because they're vicious. My mother and her children are goddamn vicious, you know." And the nicest thing for me to say, I told my mother I won't go after her inheritance and she won't go after mine. You know, I didn't know there was $1.4 million that was in a bank account. Or I would have said, "Go ahead, give it to me, Grandma. I'll take it all." Well, anyway, I don't want to rush this video, so I'm going to hold off that hunting trip next. But I'll tell you another thing. When all this here happened, my grandpa is a CB. He wears green clothes all the time, like a military man. He was a CB, and he's oh so gay. I didn't know that till the end. You know, my grandma said he wanted to be buried in a pink shirt. Then I figured out George and him was friends, you know. And anyway, there's a lot to the story. You should watch the videos and stuff. You're bound to learn something. And by the way, I'm uncovering the investigation as we're going along. And why they've been doing all this around me. Not just is it about the Zodiac Killer, it's about D.B. Cooper. And then I found out it was actually about John F. Kennedy and the Johnsons at the Johnsons Conservatory, the book conservatory down in Texas, the shooting. My dad was in Texas 10 years prior to the Zodiac, 10 years prior to the murder of John F. Kennedy. My dad would go back and do something on an anniversary. So I'm saying that I've seen pictures of my dad in Dallas, Texas, standing by himself in a barrack. I actually seen a picture of my dad, looked like he was inverted, pushing his stomach out halfway in and half outdoor like a wild man with a cigarette in his mouth coming out of a doorway like a barrack. And I tell you, to see that, it is the most abnormal picture I'd ever seen. And, you know, there's so many things that just added up in lifetime. You know, my dad said, "John, when you find out, be easy on Bonnie." You know, I told my brother-in-law Ernie that just yesterday. You know, I told Ernie, I said, "You know what? I said, if I get some money out of this, I'd like to build you guys a new house right back here." You know, but I want to custom build it myself, you know, because I would build them a beautiful home, and I'd take the time and I'd do it. Why? Hell, I've been off for 10 fucking years, living like under the radar, right in front of someone, and these people, they want to sit around and fucking toot their goddamn horn and stuff outside and stuff like they're fucking bothering me, like, you know, like they're trying to intimidate me, and I just love to go out and smash them right in the fucking face for doing that. But I just sit here and say, you know, you better know the law. And then I start going, 7-14-21, you better know the goddamn law. And you know what? It's 7 feet like 7 fleet. It's not 6 feet distance apart. And whoever did that is just a programming to death, just like the coup that they have in the United States of America. These people that are in this cult, they can't even make up their minds what kind of car they would prefer. Well, I guess that would be okay, because I've had this amnesia and shit going on around me by my family members. You have a nice day, and thank you for your time. John Wright is out and over.